Great. Here we are. Um, and we're gonna have a little chat today about our upcoming medicine path training or course. I'm Veronica Larsson, and I'm
I'm
here.
Anne-Marie Southcombe.
Yeah, yeah. And we're facilitating this course together. We've worked together for many years, both through subtle body anatomy, alchemy of laws of creation. Both of us have trained in shamanic trainings separately, and we've also journeyed together through medicine woman training. And yeah, so what would you like to say about our upcoming endeavor?
Okay, so the Medicine Path is a course that we're running this year. We ran it last year as well, and we want to talk about how it's going to look this year in 2025. So it's a journey over 7 months, and there are five immersive in-person 3-day gatherings over those 7 months. And the first one begins in April. So on the 11th of April, from the 11th to the 13th of April. And the course is located in Wexford. The first two modules will be in Wexford, and then the other three modules will be in Sligo. And while we call it the Medicine Path course, Journey with Ancient Healing Wisdom Traditions, it's really a journey to remembering who you are. So while it's a course, it's so much more than that.
Yeah, it's so much more than that. It's very much an individual journey, a journey of self-inquiry. We can say personal or spiritual development, a journey of having the opportunity to look deeply into um, who you are, what you're doing, how your life is going, and really taking stock of. And I think having the opportunity to look deeply at what is running your life, where you're not fully able to engage with what's happening in your life, or also seeing where you outsource your power consciously or unconsciously. And that's usually in areas of blind spots where there might be deep wounding underneath. Yeah, so it's, and then on top of that, because we do work in with nature, with the land, we work with sacred sites when we're invited and when it serves the journey that we're on. And we also work with the medicine wheel a whole lot. So you'll be learning various ancient traditions of working at the intersection of the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And of course, we have um, both of those inherent in our each of our bodies and souls. So we have the physical body, we have the spirit, the breath that breathes us all the time, and then we have the whole realm of the psyche. So yeah,
Lots to dive into here.
yeah,
So it'd be nice to go through each of the modules just so that we
yeah,
can get a clear idea of what we're covering in each module. So will we start with module one?
we will. It's a good place to start. Um, Landing in self and the medicine wheel.
Mhm.
Yeah, what do you want to say about that?
So I feel like module one really sets up the foundation for the whole journey ahead. It's a good place to kind of land into who you are, who is it that's arriving at the course, whose is it that's answering the invitation to embark on this journey. So that's one aspect of it, but then the other aspect of it is actually working with the medicine wheel, working with the directions, working with the elements, and the practical application of working with those forces. What else would you like to add?
Yeah, I would say that the it's working with the medicine wheel really is a journey um, of getting to know the different forces of nature and how we can be in relationship with those different elements, both in nature and within ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's for if you haven't worked with the medicine wheel before, it's really coming to know yourself through the elements that create all of creation, and how to be in relationship and how to be in communication with those energies.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and I would say also for the landing in oneself and seeing who shows up for the course, there's also the why.
Yes, definitely.
Why why am I here? Why am I choosing to explore life through
Mm.
this particular path at this time? And what might be the gifts that I somehow know unconsciously are wanting to reach me, but maybe I didn't have the time, or I haven't been taking the time to slow down enough and be with myself and be with nature enough to actually hear or feel or recognize my deeper gifts and my calling.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. A lovely way to put it. So, module two.
Yes.
So, module two, your medicine body. What would you like to say about that?
Ah, all of the modules. I would like to say so much, but we decided to keep this quite brief just so that people can actually get through it. But the medicine body very much is like there's a lot of work that we can do um through the intellect, through understanding, through talking. But then there's the reality of the physical body, and the physical body always know, and the physical body carries memory, both all the way from when we were in the womb through childhood up till this present day, and also memories from our ancestral lines. And the body will also be the direct communication between us and reality. The body knows spirit because we breathe, and our breathing pattern can hold, um, yeah, just different conditioning. So it's really your medicine body. I would say, like for all spiritual exploration work, if we don't connect with how our body actually functions and know what it feels like to have a regulated nervous system, so that we can be fully in our bodies without being driven by unconscious fear or anxiety or having to perform. It's like all these different um, neurological programs that might feel very familiar. So we think that that's normal and that's who we are. But when we're given the opportunity to connect more deeply with the perfection and the ease with which our bodies can actually function, yeah, there's a great opportunity for healing, and also to be able to be really present with ourselves, so that when we're working, whether we're a facilitator or a teacher, that we can actually be really present with somebody else, and we can be really present with nature, or the forces and the energies of nature that we're attempting to establish communication and relationship with. So it's a, yeah, deep dive and landing in the physical body, which is of course the root chakra in subtle body, and in the Sephirot, or the tree of life, the root chakra in the physical body, it's known as
Mhm.
the kingdom of heaven. So yeah, not much else needs to be said about the importance of that.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, what would you say?
we're not separate from our bodies, even though sometimes people might feel like we know there's the mind and there's a body, but actually there is no separation between our mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
And exploring the intelligence, the somatic intelligence that comes in through the body. It's like it doesn't, what occurs to us in our medicine body or in our field of awareness, it doesn't just come in through our thoughts. It comes into us in many, many different ways. And our bodies are not separate from nature either. So we are of nature. We are not separate from nature. So it's a lovely way to come into our bodies and to come into the wisdom and the intelligence that's held within us. And also within this module, we'll explore our auric field, um, just our presence and intuition, our instincts. And not just in this module, throughout the whole course, we will be doing breath work and movement and voice activation work, but especially in this module, we'll be doing quite a bit of that.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, and yeah. Module 3.
Module 3, connecting with the ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
I have
like
memories coming from last year. Yeah. As we talk through these modules, it's like memories from, yeah, different aspects of the wheel of the journey last year. Just, yeah, it was such an amazing journey.
yeah, yeah, really, really amazing. And I think when we speak about connecting with the ancestors, again, it's the same as we're not separate from our bodies. We're also not separate from our ancestors. We can say that we're the sum total of all the ancestors that have gone before us. Like we're our physical body is the end result of all the ancestors that have gone before us. And when we're talking about the ancestors, there's also all of those that have gone before us that have their physical bodies that have been transmuted back into spirit, but the remains of their bodies that are in the land, in the air, in the waters, like it's such a profound part of the journey to not have to run from what might have been not so healthy patterns in our ancestral lines, and to really get to resolve some things there and not be afraid. So we also learn about protection, about establishing boundaries, about communication. And on this weekend, we might also be visiting a sacred site. Um, there are some sites where we've been a few times, and there's it's a very special thing to go to sacred sites, and there are ways of approaching a sacred site that like protocols, and there's sometimes we're lucky and get to meet the guardians of the sites and really share in the original intention of the sites and the energy that's running through these sites and that connect us to the cycles of nature and reality. So yeah, it's a very, very special module.
Hmm. Yeah, it really is. So as again with as on other modules, we spend some of the time in the studio, but we also spend a lot of time outdoors in nature. And it is our intention that we will visit a sacred site on this module, and maybe depending on how things unfold, maybe on some of the other modules as well. Um, and also another thing that we will do on this module is have a ceremony around connecting with the ancestors of our lineage. And aside from just working through some of the entanglements or claiming maybe some of the gifts as well from our that have been passed down to us, because sometimes we don't even acknowledge the
Mhm.
blessings that have come through the lineage. So it's a really, really beautiful module.
Yeah, beautiful and powerful.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, most of the modules, I would say all of the modules have ceremony
yeah, yeah,
because yeah,
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 yeah.
beautiful.
Yes. So module 4 is the night vigil. So this is where get to meet ourselves in the darkness and deepen into the unknown. So the night vigil is basically a solo night out in nature. And it's a place where you get to sit and be with the unseen world. You can work with the elements, but basically you're with yourself. And for some people, just being with themselves mean in the dark means facing fears. And and then for other people, many insights or wisdom come through just by allowing themselves that space and time to be with themselves in the darkness. It's a really, really special opportunity to be out in nature for a whole night long. And actually, in other places, they would do it for a minimum of 4 nights. So this is really just, dipping a toe into the water, which is why we call it a night vigil rather than a vision quest, because a vision quest is a much longer experience. It would usually be done over a minimum of 4 days. Yeah, so what else would you like to say about it?
Yeah, I'd say I would add that it's although you're sitting on your own, we're all in the same general area, and myself and Anne-Marie and possibly some others will have a fire going all night, holding the space for the night vigil. And so if there is a calamity, internal or external, you will be able to come back to the fire. It can be nice to know that you're not just left
Yeah.
out there, because we're not so used to those circumstances in the modern world. So I think for anyone, especially if you haven't had much experience like sitting on
Mm,
your own in the woods,
the dark.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a really it's a gentle introduction. And it's also, yeah, it can be a little bit challenging, but the gifts that come from that, and they might not even be directly observable like in the coming days, but yeah, deep insights and much healing and growth is
Mm.
available through this experience. So yeah, highly recommended. It's to kind of come on this journey just even for yeah, just for the deepening and the space that's being held there with
Yeah.
nature. Yeah.
And there's a lot of preparation that goes into this ahead of time. So it's not like we just arrive at the woods and then go sit somewhere. There's a lot of preparation. We set up a really safe container, and there's a whole process that happens to prepare you for this solo night beforehand, so that you feel ready to embrace the opportunity when the time comes. And like Veronica said, we will be nearby somewhere with the fire, just to keep just to hold the space for everybody who's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with what you said completely, that the experience and the learning from the experience can unfold for a long time afterwards. It could be weeks, months, even years. So that was my experience anyway.
Yeah. Same for me.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
So then we come to module 5, which is our firewalk module and our closing ceremony.
Yeah. So this is where we have fire ceremony with we're building the fire so that you also have the option of doing a fire walk. You don't have to walk. That's always just because it's there. It's really about you and your relationship to the fire and the present moment, what needs to happen. So as always, it's not like just do this because it's happening on the chorus. It's really to be very present with what um, arises within us, like within all of this work. So it's, yeah, working with the fire is very powerful. Fire being having the quality of being both of the physical and the spiritual world. It's like the gateway between the material and the immaterial. Um, and the fire has a great power to transmute things. So we like to finish with this one. but also to really have that. In the closing ceremony is also the space where you get to take stock of the year that has gone, transmute things in the fire, and also really have a clearer idea and look at the gifts that you've been uncovering, the presents
Mhm.
that are present in the present, for you to carry with you forwards as the goal that you've mined
Mm,
during the year. So yeah, what
yeah.
else?
Um, it's just a really amazing weekend. Well, 3 days. The fire, whether you walk the fire or not, like maybe it doesn't, I don't know if this comes across, but whether you walk the fire or not, either way, it's you're stepping into your power with whatever decision you make. It's in the making of that decision or that choice. Um, that is the right choice for you in that moment. That is a real opportunity to step into your power. And every time, for me anyway, anytime I've been presented the opportunity to walk the fire, I still have to make that decision. It's not like, oh, just because I've done it several times before, I'm just going to do it without thinking. No, there's so much more to it than that. There's intention, there's the reason, there's your why. Why would you want to walk over hot coals in this moment in time? Um, and I feel it's every single time it's important to meet yourself in that moment before you step onto the coals. There's a moment where you really meet yourself and you meet your, well, actually, why am I doing this? And then
Yeah,
in the choice to walk or not walk, we're finding our power. So yeah, it's powerful. Did I say
yeah,
powerful?
yeah, very powerful. And yeah, I would add the like the fire is the element that like belongs in the third chakra. It represents like the when we say stepping into your power, it's like it represents the power of our soul. It's the fire that burns within. So when you're at the edge of fire, even looking at and thinking about that you're gonna walk over it, whether you choose to or not, it's this recognition of the power that is both within and without us, and just coming, like meeting that power is very, very powerful. And then I have found that like whatever prayers I choose to carry with me over the fires get amplified. The healing that needs to happen really comes to the surface, might not happen on that day, not the week after, but the healing does come to pass. Like it's a very powerful ceremony and space of prayer. And I would also say, let's see, I lost my train of thought there. Um, yeah, I would say we use this term a lot, where it's kind of being used in the space of spiritual development and on the spiritual path of stepping into your power. I would say that it's like that is not something that happens overnight. It's not something that happens in one day or in one ceremony. It doesn't happen in several ceremonies. Like we call this the medicine path for the reason that once you've decided that your life is like has value and you have value and you value the time and the space that you've been given here to explore. And it doesn't matter which way you explore it in. For some people, it's through this type of work. For others, it's through lots of other things. Like there's no hierarchy. But I would say that each time we make the choice to meet the power and the presence of who we are, we mm, we set wheels in motion that bring us that next step along our own path back home to ourselves. So yeah.
Beautiful. So Yeah, so our first module begins on the 11th of April until the 13th, and it'll be in Wexford, and this is only a month away. Today is the 12th of March.
Yeah,
We record this. Um, what else should we say about it? So we work with fire, we work with all the elements. We work with breath work, with movement, with drum journeys, but also guided meditation journeys and transmissions. We work with nature, the land, sacred sites, ceremony, sound, our word, intention, very important.
yeah.
Um, yeah, what else am I missing?
And yeah, and all of these elements kind of weave through the whole of the course because it's with all of these things when if it's our first time encountering them or if it's deepening our relationship to them, it's really there's so many aspects to our being. And when we learn new things, like they don't land necessarily immediately. So I feel like the whole course really gives one an opportunity to explore also what our own unique calling and gifts are. Because there's no, like, you don't have to learn this, that, or the other, but you will learn through, like, through all of the different elements that we're working through with, you'll come to see, like, who you are and feel who you are. Um, that's actually here and living.
Yeah,
Yeah,
each module builds on the previous one. We've very carefully crafted this course in a way that each module builds on the other one. And yeah, it's a really, really beautiful container. It's a beautiful journey. We've both done a lot of work ourselves, together and separately, and we bring our experiences, we bring what we've learned, the teachings that we bring everything that we've journeyed with ourselves to this whole container. And
yeah,
yeah, we'd love you to join us.
we would.
Yeah.
And this course is open to men and women.
Mhm.
Um, and just reach out if you're watching this, if you're wondering, like, is this for me? If you have questions, just email either of us. You can read about the course on both of our websites, which we'll put in the description. And yeah, just reach out if you need to ask questions or have a little chat to
Yeah.
see if this is for you.
So just going to put in my email address. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah,
Monica, just if you're only watching the video and you're not. Anyway, my email address is info@annemariesouthcombe.com. So that's INFO at Annemarie, ANNEMARIESOUTHCOMBE.com. And Veronica, your email.
yeah, it's Veronica Yoga, Veronica with the C, at gmail.com.
Great.
Yeah, website veronicalarsson.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
so if you have any questions or want to know more information, or if you want to book your place, then yeah, get in touch. We are looking forward to hearing from you.
yeah, we are, and very much looking forward to taking the journey with you and bearing witness to the unfolding of your path.
Yeah,
So,
it's an
yeah,
amazing journey. It really is.
yeah, I'm looking forward already.
Yeah, me too.
Can't wait to meet you. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.